We now welcome Jessica Kowalski, Product Sales Manager on behalf of Cortex by Adam Matthew Digital. Jessica, the digital floor is yours.
Thank you, Sonia. As Sonia mentioned, my name is Jessica Kowalski. I'm the Product Sales Manager for Cortex. We're thrilled to be a sponsor at this year's Digital Commonwealth Virtual Conference. I'm going to begin sharing my screen here. And so we have here, for today's presentation, I'm going to provide you with a brief overview of Cortex, share a bit about who we are and what we do, and share with you a preview of our handwritten text recognition with transcription using one of our local partners, Congregational Library Archives in Boston. And so with that, let's talk about Cortex. Cortex is a digital collections platform designed and created by Adam Matthew Digital. And for those of you who may not be familiar with Adam Matthew Digital, we are a publisher of primary resources. We have been working with archival partners for over 30 years, sourcing materials, digitizing those materials, and publishing them as databases. Some of our editorial partners here in the Boston area in Massachusetts include the American Antiquarian Society, the Phillips Library at the Peabody Essex Museum, Mass Historical, and the Schlesinger Library over at Harvard. And so while Adam Matthew has always published our digital databases on our own technology, Cortex is just the first time in which we're offering it for use by individual repositories. So what is Cortex? I'm here on the Cortex demo site, which you can play around with yourself. But Cortex is a fully hosted cloud-based solution that offers that can offer to host a variety of material types, including AV, print, born digital, manuscript materials, and mixed format materials as well. Cortex also provides a suite of resources that enables you to build a customized website that goes beyond just colors and logos. So you can build digital exhibits, you can build A to Z lists, you can insert information essentially anywhere on the web using embedding iframes. And Cortex also serves as a command center for your transcription needs. Cortex enables you to use OCR, AV transcription, and handwritten text recognition in a way in which our handwritten text recognition will soon operate in the same manner as OCR. Today, I won't have the opportunity to talk to you about our AV transcription, but I know many of you have oral histories, and if you have any questions about that technology, please feel free to reach out. So I'm going to start today with, rather than going into HTR off the bat, we're going to start with OCR. And I have performed a search on the Harris County Public Library site. They joined as a partner in February 2020 and launched their site in January of this year. They are revamping their digital collections in celebration of 100 years of their library system. And part of their migration, they decided to OCR their materials in order to make content discoverable. But by doing so, they found images of librarians and library directors that they didn't know they had. So I'm going to go here to this particular asset. I had performed a search for Angel Hill. And here we found an article that has a photo of Angel Hill and her preparing for the 90th anniversary celebration of the Harris County Public Library System. So we can see here that our transcript appears here. And we have the in-asset highlighting in both the asset and the highlighting in the asset side by side. We can go down here and see that where our search terms appear, and then go into the item details and see that Angel Hill is being found just solely using the OCR and not in the full item metadata. Now, since we're here in an asset, I do want to take a moment to point out a few other things that are going on here on this page. You can enable the ability to download an image. If it's a book, you can download, you can enable the download of the entire asset, the download of the transcript, as well as the metadata. Harris County has not enabled the download of the metadata. You also have the ability to enable the IIIF Mirador viewer. And you can also bookmark your item or assets. You can also save searches and share your searches as well. Now, as I browse around this particular record, you might notice that there's some gray ellipses, and these are actually controlled vocabularies. So controlled vocabularies in Cortex allows you to browse through materials in a really easy manner. So we can click on the Katie library branch, and so we can see here any other information in their repository that's been marked with the Katie tag. Now, I mentioned that Harris County Public Library is celebrating 100 years. And so as part of that, they wanted to create something really special. And so we worked with them on developing this map with an integrated timeline. So you can look over the 100 years of their library system to see all the different instances of their library branches, temporary branches. Some of my favorites are actually these bookmobile stops that they had throughout the years. So we can scroll through. The Katie branch is over here, so we can go in. Some of them have images and more information, and Harris County will be adding to this as well. It just launched last week. I'm going to go into the item here. And again, we're finding all the information related to the Katie branch. Now, if the map and the controlled vocabularies weren't enough for you, they have also built out digital exhibits. They plan on publishing about 30 of them by the end of the year. They have one on bookmobiles that I strongly suggest taking a look at, but they also have one again on the Katie branch library. So we can go in and learn more about this library branch through the narrative of this digital exhibit. Now, it's worthwhile mentioning that assets in Cortex, you only have to host once on the back end, and you can publish out to as many collections as you'd like, as many web pages as you'd like, as many digital exhibits as you'd like. Now, now we're going to jump into the HTR, but before doing so, I actually have to click out a couple of these tabs. And so I do want to provide the disclaimer that this is on a QA site. This is a testing site. It's not the complete and full Cortex experience. So I have put up for you, I performed a search beforehand. And this search I performed for John Gilly. That was a member of the Marblehead Congregational Church. And so this search here, we can see that we have our asset highlighted here in the asset, as well as the transcript. So this transcript for this handwritten document was created by our HTR, which is, again, performing in the same way as OCR. There's a few more ways for us to browse through this resource. We can go ahead and scroll on down and see the instances of where our search term is appearing. We can use our hits turner, and we can also use our browse images and browse through the thumbnails as well. I did have another example for you. So here I took a letter and I performed a search for Mercy. So we can go in and scroll in here. We can see it's a slightly different handwriting. We have some bleed through on the back, but we have used our HTR to produce a transcript. Again, you can make these transcripts available for download by your end users. And so with that, before I close, I do want to share how you can learn a bit more about Cortex on your own time. If you come to cortexcollections.com, you can come and view our demo site. That was the first site that I was on. It also has links to all of our partner sites. You can also come to the news section. In the news, we do have a webinar coming up this Thursday that will feature Harris County Public Library. They'll speak a bit more about their map and other projects they're working on. It also includes Des Plaines Public Library in Illinois and Towson University in Maryland. And they'll be talking about their migration to Cortex over the past year. We also have a section on blogs from the CLA, and Zach there has been kind enough to document his migration experience to Cortex. And so I encourage you to come on and read about what they've been up to. And then, of course, you can always find my information here if you have any questions about our HTR technology and how we can test it on your resources. And so with that, I will turn back over to the group. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure being here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your conference.
Thank you, Jessica.